Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now
Ironically,
vault.
Gacy's believed execution tonight comes 26 years to the day after his first arrest in Iowa for a sex crime.
And had he served a full sentence in Iowa, he would have been released on the very day that he did his last killing in Chicago.
Now, shortly before he was set to be put to death tonight, Gacy smoked a cigar, he ate dinner of shrimp and Diet Coke, and he evidently cracked a few jokes about lawyers in his final hours.
He had been on death row for 14 years and had gone through 20 legal appeals, and there was a last-minute appeal this afternoon, earlier this evening, as a matter of fact, that failed. And we're going to go to our Karen Hoskins right now, who is at the scene, and find out exactly what the word is as of this moment. Karen, has there been an official notification of his death?
There has not been an official notification, Bob, but I'm sure that we will hear it as soon as the word comes down, because as you probably mentioned earlier, we are just several hundred yards away from the prison. Behind those brick walls is where John Wayne Gacy will be or has been put to death tonight. If all goes as scheduled, he probably is dead at this moment. It will be Illinois' first public execution of an unwilling participant in 30 years. Now, one thing for sure, this death is not going unnoticed. Throngs of demonstrators have gathered just at the edge of the prison grounds here tonight. Most of them are celebrating or at least supporting the death penalty and Gacy's death tonight. Others, though, are demonstrating more quietly with a candlelight vigil, but their message is very clear also. That message is that the death penalty is wrong.
33! Man deserves to die! 33 died! 33 died!
But it just makes me sick how this guy gets what he gets. He gets free medical, free health, free art supplies, free cable. I pay for cable. I pay for my medical. And I'm paying for him.
Just seeing a man die that deserves to die. I wish I could see it.
For all the victims. That's why we're here. All the families of the victims.
Tell us why you're here tonight.
I'm here because I'm strongly opposed to the death penalty. And so I want to be here as a witness against the death penalty. I feel it's just a continuation of the cycle of violence. We say that killing is wrong, and then suddenly it becomes right to kill this individual.
I think it's sad. I think it's sad that society has to go through this. I think it's a message that society is being sent to society. It's a message that's being sent, and we have a period now where young kids are out in the street carrying guns and killing people.
Now, the older woman that you heard from just there is with the State Department of Corrections. She's a chaplain, and she said that she has actually met with Gacy on a number of occasions, and she said she feels certain that he is at peace with himself and that he does know what's happening tonight. We should say that last-minute attempts to stop the execution were unsuccessful tonight. We have heard several comments from his attorneys tonight. One thing, though, his attorneys were granted the right to be with him up until his death. That's one thing that they were fighting for up until the end. So, Bob and Amy, perhaps fittingly, it is sprinkling here. The mood is very somber, but also very chaotic. A number of people just waiting here for official word when the execution has been completed.
Karen, let me ask you a little bit more about that mood. You just showed us the reaction of some of the people who have gathered there. Has their mood changed at all now that Gacy is believed to be dead?
Well, Amy, it's really hard to say because, as I mentioned, those demonstrators are on the edge of the prison property, which is, I would say, perhaps a half a mile from where we are. We had to hike with our equipment to that area to be able to interview them. But at that time, there were several hundred of them there, and the majority, I would say, were actually celebrating. There were signs that said, "Bring in the clown," and "Go to hell, John Gacy," and comments like that. And they were very vocal at the time that we were there.
I think that they were referring to some of his artwork that he created, some of the paintings that he did depicting himself as a clown and making money off this recognition as a serial killer. Now, obviously, unless there had been a stay of execution, which you guys would have been notified of, he's dead.
That is right. All we know at this point is that things did go as planned. up until the very last minute, his attorneys were trying to appeal, but as we know, those attempts were unsuccessful, and we have not gotten official word yet, but if everything did go as scheduled, he is most probably dead at this moment.
Are any of the family members out there? We have comments from the families like having lethal injection is not suffering enough. When you lose a child, it's like taking a piece of your heart and ripping it out. Have you met any of the family members around there? Because I know they weren't allowed in for the execution itself.
They were not, Bob. Many of them were here throughout the day, although Gacy specifically said that he did not want information released as to how many people he did see in his final hours and who those people were. But we know that those people, his family and friends, were not allowed to see the execution. His attorney said it was for obvious reasons. He said it was because they didn't want to let people on either side in there because there might have been some squabbling, some fighting, and of course they didn't want any extra problems. They wanted things to go very smoothly, and there was a very specific itinerary as to the process that he would go through to die tonight.
And Karen, once again, when are you set to receive word that Gacy is in fact dead?
We have received the rumors here at this point, if you will, are that the prison officials are going to come out here at around 1 o'clock, which is just about half an hour from now, to give an official word. We think that maybe they scheduled that time specifically because they wanted all of the media people to have something to depend on, to a specific time as to when they would make the official announcement. We believe that it has happened, but we believe that they may not come out here for yet another half an hour to make it official.
We got word from the Associated Press also confirming that it'll be about that time before they make the actual announcement. Interestingly, Karen, I have a note here that Gacy was asked toward the end if he apologized for anything, and he says absolutely not, nothing at all.
Bob, a lot of the reports that I was reading today said that very thing, that he has shown very little, if any, remorse throughout this entire process. There is some debate as to whether he even recognizes what is going on. His attorneys, of course, are saying that, quote, he is not fit to die, mentally fit. They say that in order to put someone to death, you have to understand what is happening to you. And up until the very end, they said that John Wayne Gacy did not understand. But of course, those attempts to stop the execution were unsuccessful.
Okay, Karen, thank you so much. And we'll be checking back with you a little bit later for more on this, okay?